Welcome to What's Niggling Me. Lots going on in the world. Got a episode I did with my brother yesterday. It'll be out by the time this is out. I see the United States Democrats are abysmal. Their party doesn't surprise me. We have liberals here. We have an unelected prime minister currently, and he's a global piece of garbage. Globalist piece of garbage. Germany is saying that, yes, it looks like a lab leak, that our government and media lied, because I know they knew that it came from Wuhan lab and not a fucking wet market that promoted Chinese racism. What they told us led to Chinese racism. If they would have just said it was a lab leak, there wouldn't have been racism towards Asian people. Stop Asian hate. What else am I seeing? I'm seeing BlackRock has bought the Panama Canal. Big surprise. They're buying everything. You will rent everything. Corporations will own everything. Gavin Newsom's really pushing. He's really trying to. He's doing his podcast. Pretty fucking funny. I know he wants to be the president of the United States. What I'd really like to talk about, what I prefer to talk about, is geopolitics. And I was wondering, because I know from doing my research on Israel, the state of Israel, that the Russian Jewish people were, to me, the toughest Jewish people that I've read about. And I was like, how many of them are in Israel? Because for some reason, Canada and the United States hate Russia, but they love Israel. As of 2022, 1.3 million Russian people in Israel. It's crazy to hate Russian people and love Israel. Hate Russia, love Israel, when Israel is full of Russian people. I don't know, it's weird how our government acts towards that. Population of Israel, under 10 million. Fuck that truck out there. Population of Israel, 10 million. Over 1 million Russians. It's very interesting to me. 15% of the Israeli population. Now it says here, some of the immigrants are not considered Jewish because their mother is supposed to be Jewish. The law of return. Anybody with at least one Jewish grandparent is eligible to become an Israeli citizen. Now, when it was the Soviet Union, they were an atheist country. But with Putin, Putin brought back religion. So the Orthodox Russian Church was brought back under Putin. And I know the liberals are not religious people for the most part. They promote non-religion, because if you were religious, you wouldn't promote killing kids. You wouldn't promote abortion. I don't believe. I'm pretty sure across all religions, abortion would be seen as you're killing a life. You're taking a life. And that's not allowed, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to understand all the cultures and religions. It's confusing because our education system is horrible at it. So I had to learn myself because they don't fucking teach us shit in Western society except for pander to the Jewish people. But I understand all of our textbooks, all of our education is influenced by the Jewish religion. And when I see we support Israel at all costs, it doesn't matter. Canada doesn't, our Canadian government, it doesn't matter if Israel blows up families and children. We still support them because they're our greatest ally that provides nothing. For my whole life, Israel has been at war with all its neighboring countries, except for Saudi Arabia. Seems like they just have a mutual agreement. I know Saudi Arabia and Israel was involved in 9/11. It's pretty fucking obvious. The majority of all those hijackers were Saudi Arabian. And there was hundreds of Israelis doing a lot of suspicious shit before and after 9/11. All over DEA officers, caught by FBI, polygraph failed after 9/11. So Saudi Arabia and Israel have been in cahoots for a long time. And our Canadian and American governments fully support it. You have Israel. They would love to be a greater Israel. You have the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. Now I know they like these ports. This is what is wowing to me. If you look at a map of the Middle East, you'll see Israel. But what I find interesting is you'll see Iran is quite large. And on one side of Iran is Iraq. Israel convinced the United States to go blow Iraq up and kill Saddam Hussein. It's fucking loud here, eh? A couple years later, they convinced the United States to go blow up Afghanistan. on the other side of Iran. So at this point in time in the early 2000s, Iran had United States soldiers on each side of their border. Killing tons of innocent people. And then the guy who did that was the architect of 9/11, lived in the country next to Iran, underneath Afghanistan. You had Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Pakistan, and you had Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. But they just murdered millions of innocent people in Iraq and Afghanistan, while both of them are in Pakistan. And they left Iran alone. It didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, right? If you look at the map, why did the United States do this? Why does Pakistan never, why do they get to do whatever they want to do? You have Saudi Arabia over here. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do. Qatar's allowed to do whatever they want to do. UAE's allowed to do whatever they want to do. If you're on the left side of the Persian Gulf, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Except if you're Yemen, because they're right at the tip there. So Israel has the United States drop unbelievable amounts of bombs on Yemen. There are so many missiles that have hit Yemen in my life. You have Sudan on the left side of the Red Sea, and Ethiopia. Israel has, the United States control so much of this area, Africa and the Middle East. You got Libya up there at the top. See all those countries at the top of Africa? We needed regime changes in all those areas. And Turkey gets to do whatever it wants. Little Israel has so much control over this Middle East. If I look at the map, it just doesn't make any sense that Israel has all this power when they're this tiny little country with tons of Russian people. It's very confusing to me. I don't get it. How many lives have been taken on Israel's behalf in this world? I don't know. Are we going to do anything about it, or are we just going to continue to let Israel do whatever they want? I would love I have a hard time believing any history. I have a hard time believing that all these people that complain, that say that they're Jewish, are actually Jewish. I have a hard time believing that we should accept $2,000 years ago, 200 fucking centuries ago, 20, these people should be allowed to have their own country. They should be allowed to have their own country if they want. But should it be in a place that people already resided? And they boot them out? If World War II never happened, I don't know. I'm not going to go there. It's a large hypothetical. But it was big for Israel, World War II. They were in the minority, the Israeli people, beforehand. Never tried to make a government until they got the majority. Balfour Agreement. The Balfour Agreement. All I ever hear is 1948, 1948. 1917. So a lot of all this shit, this fucking Middle East is based on a lot of Israel's plan that we just go along with, is that there's this 2,000-year-old history. The Old Testament, that's what this is, I'm pretty sure. The Old Testament. And I'm no religious scholar, but I have tried to learn more to try and understand why these people feel like they deserve this plot of land on this fucking earth. They claim so much. I think we should allow some real archaeologists out there. I think Israel has had the United States blow up all these places in the Middle East to destroy history. I believe our oldest history resides in the Middle East. I know they say we came out of Africa, and I've heard Ethiopia has some ruins. I believe that the leaders in history over time have destroyed a lot of the ruins because that's what you do. History is written by the victors. So you destroy who resided there before. Hitler did that to Poland. And then Hitler did it to Poland, and then the Soviets did it to the Germans. They had turned Poland into Germany, basically, and then Soviets came in and toppled that, where Poland was left. Poland looked like Palestine. The biggest hypocrisy to me is that Israel acts like the Germans. Bibi Netanyahu acts like Adolf Hitler. And he just wants to, if he could, because I've read a lot of his dad's work, and it says, gotta mow the lawn, Arabs would be better off in the desert. Benzion Netanyahu fucking hated Arab people. But it makes sense. That's the indoctrination you get as a Jewish person. You grew up and that's how you're raised to believe that. Go to a man on the street in Israel. They fucking hate the Arab people. Every single terrorist says, from all these Middle Eastern countries, says they're doing what they do because of Israel. So imagine if Israel was on another plot of land on this earth, what would be the state of the world? Would these Arab people do terrorist attacks? I don't know. What would they be doing it for? What would the Arab world look like without an Israel? Now, if Israel was on another plot of land in this world, on this earth, would the neighboring countries be enemies to the Israeli people? Like the current situation? I don't know. They're always unprovoked. The Israelis, apparently. They're always unprovoked. That's what I always hear. I read this here. During the 1980s, the discoveries made by the new archaeology discredited a great exodus in the 13th century BC. Moses could not have led the Hebrews out of Egypt into the Promised Land, for the good reason that the latter was Egyptian territory at the time, and there is no trace of either a slave revolt against the Pharaonic Empire or a sudden conquest of Canaan by outsiders. Nor is there a trace of or memory of the magnificent kingdom of David and Solomon. I think we've just been going off what the Jewish people made up thousands of years ago in the Talmud. I think that we've just been blindly listening to a book written fucking 1800 years ago. Maybe not 1800. When did they write that fucking thing? I can't think when they wrote that. A long time ago. They've just been going off scripture. These people that 70 years after Jesus supposedly died, no, 70 years after Jesus was supposedly born, they apparently were exiled from Israel. That's the Jewish narrative. History says the Romans never exiled one country from the Roman Empire. Or not one country, one, I don't know what to call it. They never exiled a group from the Roman Empire. That's what I read. I read here okay, right here. The Romans never exiled any nation from anywhere on the eastern seaboard of the Mediterranean, apart from enslaved prisoners. Apart from enslaved prisoners, the population of Judea continued to live on their lands even after the destruction of the Second Temple. Some converted to Christianity in the 4th century, while the majority embraced Islam during the 7th century Arab conquest. Yitzhak ben Zvi, I don't know how you pronounce that, later president of Israel, and David Ben-Gurion, its first prime minister, accepted it as late as 1929, the year of the Great Palestinian Revolt. Both stated on several occasions that the peasants of Palestine were the descendants of the inhabitants of ancient Judea. Doesn't seem like Benjamin Netanyahu is listening to the former president and prime minister's words. He seems to have ignored them. if there was no exile after 1970 or after the year 70, why do they claim it? I don't know. I'm just trying to understand why these Jewish people believe that they're the chosen people. I know why. It's because it's written in a fucking book from forever ago. We're just supposed to go along with this. No other country in the world is allowed to do what Israel is doing and say what Israel says. No other country. If they do it, they're called racist 1000%. If Germany only wants to have Germans, if Italy only wants to have Italians, because they believe it's their land, they're racists. According to the G7 and all these fucking dumb fucking liberal World Economic Forum fucking idiots, we're just supposed to allow mass immigration into our countries. But Israel doesn't have to. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. When I see how many powerful people are making the decisions in this world with no consequences for their actions, it makes me lose my mind. Trump is a fucking hardcore Jewish lover. Always been. He's not a Nazi. And I hate this for him. He does the bidding of Israel just like every other fucking leader in my life. There's that much power. There's that much power. Now, I don't believe he's in Epstein. He's in that circle. I believe he was a separate faction. This is right here. This right here. One Nation Under Blackmail. Volume 2. Lots of powerful Jewish people are in this book. This book. More powerful Jewish people. This book. Some from the 60s, 50s. Some. This book. I hate this for this one reason. I hate this one part. Is that this piece of garbage right here. Alan Dershowitz is right here. This piece of shit should be in jail. Alan Dershowitz should be in jail. I know he knows about what Epstein was doing. Lots of it. He's the one who got him the fucking deal in 2006. When he was fucking underage girls. But this guy's a real fucking hero. RFK Jr. Because he knew his uncle and his dad were both murdered for not following the rules of the powerful. JFK wanted AIPAC to, and they weren't AIPAC at the time, I forget what the name was, but they were something else. They wanted the Israeli lobby to register as a foreign agent. They still haven't. 60 plus years, they haven't registered as a foreign agent, just like Hunter Biden didn't. They stole nuclear arms plans. They stole plans to, and were creating a nuclear program. Israel. During Mr. Ben Gurion's fucking life there. Les Wexner should be in jail. See, a lot of these people, they change their last names from their Jewish last names as well. Gotta watch out for them. These people are powerful, and they suffer no consequences. But there's also other powerful people out there. Peter Thiel. Nobody is calling out to watch out for Peter Thiel or Larry Ellison. It's Trump and Elon Musk. Trump and Elon Musk. Trump and Elon Musk. What about Xi Jinping? Xi Jinping's government has over 1 million people in prison camps, like the Jewish people were back in the day. I don't see anybody complaining about Xi Jinping. It's Trump and Elon, Trump and Elon. There are over 1 million Muslim people in camps in China. It's not on the news for some reason. They have tariffs on Canada. Don't see Canadians complaining about it. It's Trump, 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 Trump. Because people are a bunch of sheep and just followed and just do what they're told. Bothers me. I see WNBA. I hope they fail. They deserve it. Because they don't know how business works. If you're not making a profit, you don't get a pay raise. Volleyball is apparently looking to start a new league. I think 2026 maybe. I think they're gonna start a new league. And I swear I mentioned this on an episode before, that is the sport. Women's volleyball is the sport. More men are gonna watch that than women's basketball. Women's basketball, the only people who are watching are family, and this is family, their boyfriends, husbands. No men are watching the WNBA for entertainment. 0 are watching the game for entertainment. It's a bad product. It's not good. Women run up the court dribbling like this. It's not good basketball. You can't have that type of basketball when the men's is far superior. But women's volleyball is a better product. It doesn't look like uncoordinated stuff. It doesn't look like that. And they have nice shorts. I'm curious, now I know there'll be a lot of complaints if women's basketball wore those volleyball shorts for one season. I know it's sexist and fucking misogynistic or whatever. If you want to make money, sex sells. It's always been like that. It's one of the oldest professions for a reason. I've liked butts since grade school. It's it's in my DNA. It's in my genes. If there's a nice butt, I have to use discipline and focus not to look at the nice butt. Been in the gym for almost 20 fucking years, and it takes discipline, knowing there's a nice butt, to not look at it. But I can remember being in grade school. Since then, I liked butts all the way. So I know I'm not the only one that if you put butts on the court, men's eyes are going to want to see. Just telling you facts. That's just what it is. There is no perfect human. We're all flawed. I hope the Women's Volleyball League does good. I know Sean Taylor's daughter plays college volleyball. He was one of my favorite football players. He got shot and killed in a robbery. It's pretty fucked. It's pretty fucked. I don't like that story. See what else I got here. I'll try and show you a video. This is why I got Instagram forever ago, okay? This is the type of stuff I got Instagram for. I wanted to see miraculous things. I wanted to see impressive humans from all around the world. And these Russian gymnasts, been following them for fucking years. They can do handstands on like tight ropes and stuff like that. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see people selling their pussy and everything is fucking just promoting some fucking product. I want to see ads and marketing and promoting shit just infiltrated social media and the internet, and it's fucking annoying. It's always been on the internet, but for social media, and it's just fucking annoying. That's why social media is garbage, because everyone's just trying to fucking sell something. Like, don't you want to just see this? Dogs doing fucking double dutch? Like, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. Impressive fucking things. Why I don't think women's beach volleyball is... It's impressive. It's not as big as... it's not as good as entertainment, is because it's slower paced because of the sand. Where women's indoor, it's impressive, it's faster, it's just more impressive. And I said this before in an episode or a couple before, like a long time ago, that I've watched a lot of women's sports, I've seen the women's sports. Women's tennis and volleyball it's more impressive because the majority of, just fucking telling you the truth and facts, that the majority of men can't play at the level that a woman can in those sports, in tennis and volleyball. Basketball, hockey, I'm sorry, but a lot of men can play better than those women. But not tennis and volleyball. It's the skill. The women's skill there is the skill of those sports are harder. Tennis and volleyball are harder than basketball and hockey if you can skate. Just fucking facts. Women's soccer isn't good because it's slow. Women's hockey isn't good because it's slow. Women's basketball isn't good because it's slow. That is the issue. It's slow, and you have to admit it. Go watch the men's play it. It's just, women's hockey looks like high schoolers And we look like a men's high school hockey team is just as good as the best all-star women in the world at hockey. It's just facts because of speed, athleticism. That's why no girl transitioning goes to a men's sport. 0 of them. There's not one professional woman in any sport on this fucking planet that can go and play in the men's. Not fucking one. Where every man in a professional sport could go to the women's professional and be the #1 player in the league. That's facts. I saw this stupid person. Canada's UN ambassador, Bob Rae, claims US President Donald Trump's aggression towards Canada isn't about border security, but a bid to seize land and resources. Rae called it a colossal land, water, and resource grab, suggesting tariffs are a strategy to weaken Canada for an easier takeover. We're not talking purchase, we're talking theft by force. Well, this person maybe hasn't seen The Grab. It's a documentary, The Grab. And that is what is going on in this world. I don't know if this person's aware that it's been going on for years. The grab. It's a grab for land, water, resources. So it doesn't surprise me as Canada's economy has declined year after year while the Liberals have been in government. We are allowing that to happen. Go look how much land China bought. Go look how much of the stock market China is invested in the housing market. Go look at the housing market that China is invested in worldwide. Look at them in Africa. Look at them in South America. Is the land grab. Russia is over there preparing to, as the Arctic unfreezes, they are prepared to use that land. Saudi Arabia is buying up land. They bought land in Arizona and started extracting water from the fucking ground. So then residents in Arizona, their wells were running dry. Most people are entertained by fucking The View or American Idol or NCIS while real things are happening on this planet. But you're distracted by this garbage entertainment they're fucking pushing in your face that's fake. They're pushing fake garbage in your face while worldwide moves are happening. That's why the majority of people are pawns on the chessboard. You're not fucking paying attention. And you just give your money and your pensions to be invested in pieces of not pieces, that's not the phrase, into slimy, corrupt hedge funds to invest money in a lot of the things that hurt humans, hurt people, hurt the world. Investing in things that hurt the world. That is what the majority of pensions are all invested in, because that's what profits. I prefer to invest my own money because I already have taxes going to murdered people in other countries. Because even the banks, it just sucks. There's no morals and ethics. It's profits for shareholders is what it comes down to. Is this true? An ad in Canada with a woman in a hijab promoting buying the Lotto 649 and Lotto Max. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know. I know that a lot of culture shit is pushed, and it's gross. Saw a video of a guy, he was singing for animals. It was pretty impressive, pretty cool how animals respond to music. Excuse me. Listen to this piece of fucking shit.
I mean, okay, so in public health, there is always going to be a tension between individual liberties and what's best for the group. That's just inherent in public health.
I heard that Trump was talking about the pardons are going to be voided because they were used with an auto pen. I don't know if that's going to happen. And unfortunately, and I understand why, he was mainly focused on the people that were on the January 6th committee because that affected him, obviously. But Hunter Biden, all of the Bidens, and Anthony Fauci are my concerns. That if that's the case, fucking remove those pardons. Anthony Fauci should spend the rest of his life in jail. Anthony Fauci should spend the rest of his life in jail. Anthony Fauci should spend the rest of his life in jail. I'd like Bill Gates to be in there. I'd like Bill and Hillary Clinton to be in there. Bill and Hillary Clinton. George Bush. It's Bibi Netanyahu. Whew. I don't want him to be in jail. I want something different for him. He deserves something different. I heard our idiot unelected prime minister say that we should be building relations with France. I'm not starting any relationship with somebody until I know the real them. And so he needs to tell us about the real Brigitte Macron. I don't believe anything Emmanuel Macron ever says, because we need the real story from his mouth about Brigitte Macron. Brigitte. Is Brigitte an old man? Was Emmanuel Macron groomed? These are the questions. Should Mohammed bin Salman have to admit and apologize for killing Jamal Khashoggi? Should Xi Jinping have to release the over 1 million Uyghurs that he has in encampments? Should North Korea get freedom and democracy? Or should they continue to allow their population to be confined in a open air prison like Bibi Netanyahu does to the Palestinians? There's a lot going on in the world. And a lot of it doesn't make any sense. There's no real rules at all. Rules don't apply to everybody. This world is a free-for-all. And what are we allowed to say? Are we allowed to question and call out things we just don't understand because things don't make sense and aren't adding up? Why? When everyone grows up as a kid, they ask why about everything because they're curious and trying to understand. And then we're told to just shh, listen, do what you're told. And everyone becomes complicit and sheep and just follow and do what they're told. Guess that's why I only have a few teachers probably in my life that we ever really got along. Okay. We'll see what goes on over the next day. What thoughts I have, things that niggle me. And we'll be back later in the week.